What's happening, everybody? Appreciate you checking in. All right, happy Friday. Hopefully you had a good week. I want to touch on a couple things in this video. One of our former free agents that we let walk, and I was really hoping that we would bring him back. Definitely someone that I wanted to prioritize given some of the contracts that we gave others on our defensive line. So I'm going to talk about that. But also, I'm going to talk about as we go into day 3 of free agency, there's still a few names that I'm hoping the Raiders are paying attention to and taking really good consideration on possibly bringing these guys in. And so I want to share that with you and definitely get your feedback. But before we get into it, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications. I'm around 50 subs away from my next giveaway, which is 4,500 subscribers. So if you want to be including that, hit that subscribe button and also turn on those notifications because I do go live on Tuesdays and Sunday nights. Just again, be able to chop it up with you guys and interact with the chat. I definitely appreciate all the people, hundreds of people that enter in the chat room during the lives. Definitely appreciate it and definitely look forward to every single one. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you definitely know when I drop more content and when those lives go down. So let's kind of jump into it. Again, the free agent that we let walk, which I was hoping we would bring back, is Chaisson. It was announced yesterday that the Patriots have reached out and they have signed our former edge rusher, Chaisson, to a 1-year, $5 million deal. And this is kind of where I got hung up on this is, look, as it stands right now, right, we did bring back Malcolm Koonce, a 1-year, $12 million deal, great contract. We also brought back Adam Butler on a very team-friendly deal. And so, look, if Malcolm Koonce can come back and return and play like he did at the end of the 2023 season, this is going to be an extremely dangerous front four for any offense to go up against. But my thing is that Malcolm Koonce, he's coming off of a season-ending injury, right? It was a non-contact injury at the beginning of last season before week 1 against the Chargers, and you just don't know how well he's going to recover off of that. And my thing was, as time went on, we brought on Malcolm Koonce, which was, again, great signing. But here's my thing is, you still want someone to rotate in. We obviously have Charles Snowden that can step in and play, but he's no Chaisson. He was an undrafted free agent from last season, and we brought him up to the 53-man because of the injury to Malcolm Koonce. And we brought on Chaisson, and he showed that he still has the chance to be a hell of an edge rusher, but at the very minimum, he could be one hell of a rotational piece on this front seven. There's going to be moments in the game where maxxcrosby may step off the field, Malcolm Koonce may step off the field, and you want to be able to bring somebody in where your production on the field is not going to fall off too much. And Chaisson could be that perfect rotational piece if maxxcrosby or Malcolm Koonce had to step off the field. You could be that guy that he could still get anywhere between 15 to 20 snaps a game and continue to wreak havoc on offenses just like he did last season. And the contract that I would have brought him back at was around a 1-year, $5 to $7 million. I said it in some of my lives as well as some of my other videos. Is I looked at him kind of in that $1 to $7 million contract because of the team-friendly contracts that we signed Malcolm Koonce to, as well as Adam Butler. I felt you could invest a little bit more into Chaisson, give him a contract that is well-deserved based on what he did for us last year. And if we could get him back to that $5 to $7 million a year, I thought that would be a hell of a deal for a great rotational piece. And the Patriots went and got him for 1 year, $5 million. And so, again, I hope the Raiders have a bigger plan in place. Maybe it is addressing it in the draft and maybe developing a younger defensive end. I'm okay with that. But I'm a firm believer that you win in the trenches. And if you can get a guy that can rotate himself in and you don't lose much production, I would have done it in a heartbeat. So at the end of the day, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on Chaisson. Do you wish we could have brought him back? Do you wish you would have retained him? Or are you okay with him moving on? And if so, what would be your plan for a rotational piece at the edge rush position? Is it bring somebody in that you like in free agency, or is it potentially addressing in the draft? Or do you think we got guys like Charles Snowden that can step in and be that rotational piece? Let me know in the comment section down below, but I definitely want to touch on this because Chaisson was a guy that was high on my radar after the signing of Adam Butler, after the signing of Malcolm Koonce. He was high on my radar to bring him back because I want solid rotational pieces when guys have to step off the field, and I think he could have been one of them. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this move with Chaisson going to the New England Patriots. Now let me jump up to the big screen. And here's my thing. I'm going to talk about three free agents now that we're going into day three of free agency that I want the Raiders to really take a serious look at. The last guy I'm going to talk about is maybe someone that may not be on too many people's radar, but I think he could be a damn good depth piece in addition to one of these position groups that we need depth in. I'm going to start with Tyler Lockett. I really do think we need to take a really good look at Tyler Lockett for many reasons. One, veteran presence. Jakobi Meyers, he is a veteran on this squad, and he's definitely going to be a damn good receiver for young receivers that we maybe draft can look up to. But Tyler Lockett, not only, again, veteran, very reliable receiver, but he does three things. One, you could potentially bring him in for a very cheap contract, a 1-year type of contract. But two, he could play in the slot. He could play as an outside receiver, but preferably I like to see him in the slot if he came over and played with the Raiders. But here's the thing. We have a young player in Trey Tucker that I think needs motivation and someone that's going to challenge him for that spot. And Tyler Lockett can come in, even though he's on the back end of his career, right? He's not as fast as he used to be or what have you. I think he could definitely be a competition piece for Trey Tucker, but also a guy that could help Trey Tucker and develop. Tyler Lockett has always been good with creating separation amongst the defensive backs. And I think he could come in and definitely help Trey Tucker with that. And so he could provide great competition to Trey Tucker in hopes that it pushes Trey Tucker and we could possibly get the best out of him. And lastly, we got Geno Smith, right? And one of the best things you can do for a quarterback is bring in somebody that he has chemistry with, someone that he can rely on, basically be his safety blanket. If we bring Tyler Lockett in, he doesn't need to get every snap, right? He could potentially get maybe 10 to 12 snaps, but he could be the safety blanket for Geno Smith moving forward. Geno Smith can come into the new season with a receiver that he has chemistry with. And I've said this in a lot of my lives as well as some of my videos, is that one of the hardest things for quarterbacks to do is gain chemistry with their receivers. Receivers can run routes in so many different ways depending on how the defense lines up against them and how they like to run their routes. And so quarterbacks and receivers need to build chemistry, and it's not easy to do. So if Geno Smith can have that safety blanket for a very inexpensive contract and a veteran that can potentially help one of our younger receivers in his game and potentially get the best out of him, I see it as a no-brainer moving forward because we definitely need depth in this receiver room. And so when I talk about depth, it's going to move me into my next receiver. But before we get into it, if you can, let me know your thoughts on Tyler Lockett. Do you think it would be a good decision to bring him in? Let me know. But again, another veteran that can provide depth, but also provides an aspect to our receiver core and our receiver targets that we don't necessarily have right now, and it's Tim Patrick. I really would like to see the Raiders take a good look at Tim Patrick because he's a tall, lengthy receiver that has found success with his prior teams, right? When he was with the Broncos, that was going to be one of the better Bronco receiver cores with Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick. But again, Tim Patrick ended up getting hurt, which was unfortunate. Then he moves on with the Lions, and he actually had a very productive season last year with the Lions. Again, a tall 50-50 ball type of receiver, someone that we don't have. Receiver that's going to go up and get the ball and make those contested catches. Jakobi Meyers is our solid possession receiver type of guy, right? He's the full route tree guy, and he's going to be able to run every single route that you throw at him. Brockbowers, he's our number one target, right? He's going to go all over the field, but we need a guy that's going to be able to go up and get the ball. Now, I'm not saying he's the starter, but I think we need depth in that position, and we need that style of receiver to help balance out this receiver room. If we bring in Tyler Lockett as well as Trey Tucker, those are the guys that could potentially stretch the defense in a different way. All right, but again, Tim Patrick is a guy that I would love to bring him in as that 50-50 ball guy that you could just throw it up on 3rd and 8, knowing that if you have that height difference against that corner, you could take advantage of it. And I'm going to combo that potential signing with who I like in the first round of this upcoming NFL draft, and it's T-Mac, Tederick McMillan. I would love if we could either get him at 6 or trade back a couple spots and still get him, but get T-Mac, again, another 6'5" receiver, extremely athletic, that's going to bring another aspect to this offense, to this receiver core. Right. a 50-50, true 50-50 ball guy that can get up and go snag that football. Again, very different from anybody else that we have. You add him to this receiver core. Now you need to take a corner and a safety and put him on top of that corner and double up T-Mac because he's that much of a threat when it comes to the deep ball. And so that's going to free up everybody else, but you still got to watch out for Brockbowers. He's going to be our number one target. So how do you defend all these different types of weapons if you bring in dynamic 50-50 ball type of receivers, add it to this receiver core? Could be extremely dangerous for Geno Smith in this offense. And so again, let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on Tim Patrick? And again, not necessarily as a starter, but a great rotational piece if we do pick up somebody like T-Mac in the first round. Let me know in the comment section down below. And then lastly, this is a big name. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I'm a big build in the trenches guy, is Mekhi Becton. Once Trey Smith was franchised by the Kansas City Chiefs, it kind of took him off the board, but then you got Mekhi Becton. And look, I definitely want to see what Mekhi Becton's market price is going to look like. That's my biggest thing with him, because as much as he was so dominant this year, I do think it was a very perfect scenario for him with the leadership that surrounded that Eagles organization in that lineman room with Lane Johnson and obviously Jason Kelsey being so involved in that organization. He had a lot of veteran leadership to kind of help him just be a better pro and be better at his position, because obviously with the Jets, that fell off bad. I just don't know what Mekhi Becton we're going to get. If he gets that big payday, what Mekhi Becton are we going to get? And that's my biggest question mark. And so look, I'm a firm believer with building the trenches. And if you can bring in a guy like that and we can get anything similar to what the Eagles got, 100% bring him in. But I just hope the Raiders do their homework to ensure that if you do give him a decent contract, you have 100% confidence that he is going to be able to produce in a way that he did last year with the Eagles. So let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on Mekhi Becton, and do you want to see us bring him in? Because if we don't, I definitely want to see us address the guard situation in this upcoming draft. And I got a bunch of guys that I like, and definitely a guy that I think can come in and dominate, but that's for another video. So again, let me know what your thoughts are on Mekhi Becton. Do you want to see us bring him in, or is it a hard pass on your end? Let me know. But those are the three guys, the three free agents that I want to definitely take a look at moving forward. So again, appreciate it. Let me know if there's any other free agents that you're definitely focused on that you want to see the Raiders bring in and potentially add to this 53-man roster going into the 2025 season. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. My next giveaway is at 4,500 subscribers. I'm very close to it. If you can help me get there, I definitely appreciate it. But if you do hit that subscribe button, you'll be automatically included in my next giveaway. So hit that notification bell so you know when that giveaway goes down. But also, I go live on Tuesdays and Sunday evenings. And so just my way to chop it up with you guys. And again, big recap of all the events that have gone on throughout the week. So again, appreciate you. And I'll see you on Sunday night during the live. Appreciate you. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.